login. Okay, so this is the page that I'm going to create. Just click on publish. We have created a page, as you can see, into the permalink. Now according to the second point, we need to create a template file into activated theme. So let me check that what's the theme currently activated. Just click on appearances. You will see that currently 2017 is my current activated theme. Okay, so just going to 2017 themes folder, just click on editor. This is the 2017 currently activated theme, and we have to make a template file inside this folder. Just click on this and let's say custom login. Okay, this is the template file that I'm going to make inside this folder now, and I need to define this template. So this is the comment section, guys, that I need to write to introduce my custom login of template inside WordPress. Okay, and this template, the name should be custom login page that I have written. So just go to administrator panel, click on pages. All we need to assign this template to this created WordPress page. Okay, so under this template section, just click on this drop down. You could see our created template. Just select this and click on update. We have successfully assigned our created template with this WordPress page. So all we have done up to point number 3. Okay, this is how simple to learn. Now we are going to make our custom login code into our template file. So just go to editor. We need to write here our custom login code. Okay, so let me make a global object that which actually takes that user ID, which basically checks that a user is currently logged in or not into our WordPress setup. Okay, so if user ID does not exist, means user is in logged out state. User in logged out state. Okay, and inside else block, user is logged in. So all we have to write our custom login page inside this block, because when user does not logged in, then we have to show actually the custom login form to the user to logged in. Okay, so let me make code for that. So form, so this is the input text that we have made, where user actually enters its username or email. So let's make username and email field inside this text box. Okay, and this is for username. Just copy this name and paste it here. All we have made our first input box to input the username or email. Let's make a password input field for that. Password, it is for password, and input type should be password. So all we have done now, we have created our 2 input field forms. Okay, inside this form we have made our user email input field, and the other input field will be of password. So just make method as post, and we need to post this form by clicking on a submit button. Let's make a submit button to click by user. Okay, so it should be button of type submit and something like login. Now we have made our form. Okay, so let's use the WordPress function to include header and header and footer. So just need to use get header function here and footer head function here. Okay, to include all CSS files and JavaScript files of WordPress default setup. Okay, so this is the code that we have made. All we have made a form inside this user ID. When user ID does not exist, means user is in logged out state. So just save this file, go to browser, and let's open our custom login page what we have made. You will not see any form inside this. It's a blank area because we have written our code inside this, which indicates that user should be in logged out state. But as you could find that currently user is in logged in state. Okay, so just copy this URL, open a incognito window to check that, and paste the URL here. Now you can see our custom login field here, where you have to pass username and the password, and this is the login button. Okay, so all we have done now, just click on that. Right now we haven't coded to check these credentials with the database user. Okay, so let's make a code for that which actually checks the form submitted data to our database user. Okay, so let's make code here. If we have successfully posted our form, okay, else the form will appear inside this block. Inside this if block, when the user posts his form, means when the user clicked on login button and he is going to submit this form to the server. Okay, now we are going to take the username and the password from this form. Okay, this username and the password should be matched with the database user. So let's take the value of that. Username, so all we have taken two values, okay, username and the password. And one more thing guys, that you need to keep these values protected from invalid values of the user. Okay, so to protect the values from invalid or SQL injection, you need to use a method of that by using WPDB object. Okay, so just copy this object, it's a global, and you need to wrap this post variable inside escape method. Okay, it is being deprecated for now because we will actually use prepare for method for that. If you go to the documentation section of escape method of WPDB, then you could find that it is deprecated for now, and the prepare method actually taking place inside instead of escape. Okay, so these are the functions actually protect your data from the SQL injected or invalid values which actually user enters into these boxes. Okay, so all we have taken the username and the password from the user. Now we are going to check these variables with the database user. So all we need to store these variables inside an array. So let's say login array. Let's initialize with an empty array, and inside this login array you need to store all values of username and the password. Okay, so just you need to write user login and here user name. Okay, and the second parameter of password, user password and password. So all we have stored these values inside these key values of this array. Okay, now we are going to use a WordPress function WP sign on. WP sign on function basically checks the past credentials to the user credential which actually stores into the database. So before using this function, let's have a look at the documentation section of WP sign on. Okay, this is the function WP sign on which basically checks the existence of user into the database, authenticates a user, options of remember and the credentials. And this is the very basic syntax, guys, you need to keep in your mind while using WP sign on method. You need to pass credentials as an array which basically stores the username, password and the remember property. And if you want to secure a cookie, then you need to pass true value, otherwise false value for that. So just scroll down. Here you could find a small snippet of code actually WordPress provides, and you could see about the uses of WP sign on function. Okay, and basically one of the important thing is that WP sign on has the return type WP error object. Okay, means when the user has an invalid credentials while filling this form, then it returns an WP error object as the failure, otherwise WP error does not exist. Okay, so let's make a use of WP sign on method. So just copy this function, WP sign on function, and we need to pass all credentials of the user that we got from the form. So just copy this array, pass into this function, and we need to secure cookie for that. So we want pass true value into second. Okay, and we want to store the object which actually got from WP sign on inside a variable. Okay, so let's say verify user, and the verify user should actually stores a WP error object which basically WP sign on returns after authenticating user. So just copy this, and WordPress also provides a function to check that the returned object is a error object or not. To check that, the function should be WP error object. Okay, is WP error, it's a function which basically checks that the past object into this function is an error object or not. Okay, so if not, I am passing not symbol here, means the verify user does not error object, means the user has valid credentials while logging. Okay, so in that condition we need to redirect user to the home page. Okay, so let's redirect user. To redirect the user, I have used a script code inside echo, and where I passed window.location site URL, means after successfully logging, the user should redirect it to the homepage URL of WordPress. Okay, and else block, if user has invalid credentials, then we need to show error message in that condition to the user. Okay, like invalid credentials. Okay, all we have done now, we have coded to check our username and the password. WP sign function basically provides the authentication property to all these credentials from the database user. After passing the successfully validation, we will redirect it to the site URL, otherwise we will get an invalid message. Okay, so just save this file, go to browser and refresh this login page once more. Let's pass some dummy values. So this is the dummy values that I have passed. Okay, just click on login. As you could see, invalid credentials, means we have passed invalid credentials. Okay, so let's pass some valid credentials into this username and the password field, like admin, and the password is admin. Just click on login button after passing the valid credentials into these input boxes. So after, we will redirect it to this homepage URL, as you can see, and the user is successfully logged in into the WordPress setup. I could see about the links of WP admin bar. So we have successfully redirected to the user to the site URL after successfully logged in. Okay, so this is how simple, guys, to learn about the custom login page inside WP WordPress. And now one more thing we will study in this video session, that when we click on this logout button, then you can find that we will be redirected to some other pages after login. So just click on this logout. you can see that we are now on wp-login.php. Okay, so we want that after logged out we are something on this page. Okay, because we have made this is our custom login page, so we want that after logout the user should be redirected to this page. To do that we need to use action hook for that. WordPress provides an action hook called WP logout, which basically fires when user has logged out from WP WordPress setup. Okay, so to make our custom function on WP logout, so just go to editor, so just open functions.php file, scroll down, so let's make function redirect to custom login page. So WP logout is the action hook WordPress provides, which basically fires when the user click on logged out button. Okay, so after firing WP logout action, we need to bind this function what we have made, and we need to redirect the user to our custom login page. So to redirect the user to our custom login page, we are going to use something called WP redirect. Okay, it's a WordPress function basically used to redirect for redirection purpose. So we need to redirect the user into our login page. Okay, so site URL / login. Okay, because the site URL function basically gives you the path up to here. This is the path actually the site URL returns, but we want to append login also. Okay, to get our custom login page, so we need to write login here. Okay, and we need to exit from here. So all we have done now, when we click on logout button, then we will be redirected to this login page what we have made. So just let's check it. Just refresh this page. Let's pass a valid credentials for this user, admin. Just click on login. After successful login, we are redirected to this home page. Just click on this logout button. You can see we are now on our custom login page what we have made. So successfully you have changed your custom login page while firing with the logout action. Okay, now in the second thing guys, you need to keep in your mind that suppose I am going to write WP admin. Okay, so while typing WP admin into the URL, you will be redirected to this WP login page. We want that when someone enters WP admin, then after hitting enter, we are going to redirect this URL instead of WP login page to our custom URL of login what we have made. Okay, so this is the thing that we also need to customize while making our custom login page. We need to redirect after typing WP admin to the URL to our login page. Okay, so to do that we need to use another action hook. So let's make add action, and we need to pass init, and here is something like fn redirect. So this is the function name that we have binded with init action hook. Okay, so just copy this function name and just make definition section for that. All we have to check that the open page is WP admin. Okay, we have to check that the open page is WP admin, and we need to redirect this URL to custom login page what we have made. Okay, so we need to make use of global variable called page now, which basically returns that in which page actually we are currently in. Okay, so if we are in suppose WP admin, then page now returns WP admin.php. Okay, so we have to check that the page now equal to and it's WP login.php. Then we need to redirect user WP redirect to site URL and login. Okay, and exit from that. All we have done now, we have checked that the currently page logged in, the current page opened is wplogin.php. Then after getting this page, we need to redirect the user into this URL. Okay, so let's check into the browser. So just refresh this page. Just remove wp admin after login and right here. Okay, so when we click on wp admin, then we are definitely redirected to our custom login page. Just press enter. You can see that we are now redirected to our custom login page what we have made. Okay, so just type admin. We will be redirected to our home page. As we can see, just click on logout. We are now on our custom login page. Okay, what's the problem? So basically guys, our functionality has bricked here. So let's check what actually going. We have redirected to our custom login page while a user logged out, or else wp admin we get. Okay, so we need to write another condition, checked condition here inside this. If we need to check that we need to redirect this login page when the action is not logged out. Okay, so let's add action is not equal to logout. Okay, means we need to redirect under this condition when we get wp-login.php as the current page now. Okay, and under this function we are going to redirect the user when the user is click on logout button. Okay, so all we have done now. So just go to this page and refresh this page once more, just to get rid of this. So now when we click on logout button, okay, so on clicking on this logout button, the first function will fire what we have written inside this code. Okay, so because we have attached this function with this action hook only. Okay, so just click on logout. We are now on our login page, as you can see, and when we type wp login here, okay, wp admin here, then we will be redirected to the second function which we have made, and this function should fire when the page now is wp login.php as well as the action is not equal to logout, because we are going to redirect this page while getting this into the URL, as well as the action should not be equal to logout. Okay, so just press enter. We are now on our login page. Okay, so these are the two things guys that you need to keep in your mind while making your custom login page in WordPress. So let's make a recap of all those points what we have seen inside our these points. Okay, first we need to make your custom WordPress page. Okay, what we have made, as you can see, login page. We have created a template inside our theme, and this is the template file custom login.php which we have made. Okay, and we have assigned our created template to this page in admin panel by selecting from this drop down. Okay, and do code of login. So we have coded our login form inside this template file, as you can see. Under this form tag, we have passed username and the email, username, email and the password for user authentication. Also we have checked all these values by the posting form here. And the next need to change some redirect URLs. Okay, of course we need to redirect the user after logout into our custom login page, as well as when he types wp admin into URL, then we will redirect it to the login page. Okay, so basically there are two conditions we need to keep in our mind, that while a user makes logout as well as wp admin, then we need to redirect the user into our custom login page. So all things that we have seen according to our custom login page. So according to your comfortability guys, you can make a custom own CSS, and by the help of custom design you can design your custom login page by getting this idea into a more better way. Okay, by using bootstrap classes, by doing your own CSS, you need to make these boxes as smart it is. Okay, so these are the things that we have seen so far.